Hi, I'm Alexander Gordon Jahans, and yeah. So that election, huh? That election. Yeah, I kind of feel odd talking about the election now because I have since been on holiday, and yeah, basically I haven't had a proper night's sleep in about 4 days. About 4 or 5 days, because but kind of the night before, uh, yeah, the night before, the day before the election, I just was so panicking about the election that I just couldn't get any sleep. And then obviously the night before the election, I was panicking and stressing out about it because I had, you know, I had to be up for my testosterone injection, and I had the election. I had to make sure I got my vote, man. And then I was hungover the next day. I was hungover the day of the results, and then I had the holiday. Yeah. Basically, the last 2 years have been hell for me, and the last 6 months have been hellish even still. So basically, when the election was cast and it looked like a landslide, I was just like, you know what, fuck this, I'm out. I just there was a moment where it was like, okay, the Conservatives are gonna get a landslide, and they look like they're going to be fucking evil, and even and I looked to be going into social housing, so it was like, okay, my arse is about to be chomped down on by the Conservative Party. This is not going to end well. So I had one very particular long stare into the abyss, and it's like I've been circling this darkness for 2 fucking years now, and and my mother just had this. She does this occasionally, where I mean, it took her 16 years for her to realise that when I said I couldn't smell, I actually couldn't smell, and that she should maybe do something. Like, she just does this sometimes, whereby I will be saying something for years, literally years, and then suddenly it's like, oh, that's the thing. We should do something about that. And so she kind of she had a freak out about it, and it's like, it's again, I've been in this place for 2 years. 2 years I have been just feeling utter crap. And the last 6 months, especially because I had to care for mum as well. So it's like, not good, not good. And I was just basically like, you know what? If I'm going into social housing and the Conservatives are going to get a landslide, fuck it, I'm probably going to be calling it a day. Right? It's like you're just sort of looking at the moves that are going to happen so many turns ahead. You're just like, you know what? I think I've lost this game. Except it's not a game, it's your life, and you're not walking away from the table, you're walking away from life. Right? But either way, you're kind of going, yeah, you know what? I'm not going to win this. And so my mother freaked out, and so that that just created more bullshit. It's like they didn't help matters. It's just like they suddenly noticed there was a problem, and their solution to the fact that I had no power over my life and I was in a really shitty position was to just give me extra bullshit to deal with. So I then had to go and create bullshit jobs to make my family feel like they're making a difference, when it's like I've had 2 years to try and figure something out and I can't think of a solution. So there is, like, if there is a solution, then I can't, you know. And of course, the other problem with this is that, you know, I've been making YouTube videos for about 2 years, and I have attracted a load of people who hate my fucking guts, and they consider a large amount of reasons that I, you know, give for my situation to basically be political reasons that they are ideologically opposed to, and so they get very angry. And I don't care. They can rot in hell. I don't believe in hell, but they do, so they can enjoy their hell. Because that's how that works. But no, I am aware that when I say things about, you know, this is how I honestly feel with regards to my life, that there are going to be people who get aggressively angry that I do not abide by their definitions and thoughts and feelings of what I could be doing. These people need to get the fuck over themselves. Yeah, not even gonna sort of any further comment on that, but I am just aware that's a thing that just happens, of like, someone expresses a thought and a feeling, I'm going to oppose it, sort of thing. But yeah, like, you know, I then had to create all these bullshit jobs, and part of this was the, you know, so part of this was that, like, on election night, I was not to be left on my own, which is, like, you know, fair enough. I was worried. I didn't know how things were going to go in terms of in terms of the election, because yeah, like, if there had been a Tory landslide, I'd have been a dead man, basically. And part of this sort of, you know, plans made in case of things that didn't happen, was that a sort of quasi-holiday thing was booked for other things as well, and other purposes, and other stuff was included and incorporated, but part of it was just, hey, it's probably good to not be stuck in the fucking house the day after the election, considering everything. Yeah. The election was, you know, not terrible. I mean, I know we've still got the Conservatives, and they're now, you know, allied with the DUP or whatever, but firstly, like, you can't discount hope, right? You can't discount the difference it makes with the fact that the fucking unelectable Jeremy Corbyn managed to overturn Tory safe seats, that this guy infused the young people so much that he that he fought the fucking Tories to a goddamn draw when they called an early election to increase their majority, right? This was a blow to the establishment for the left, and this was a blow that has reinvigorated a whole lot of people, and also there is the fact that, you know, Theresa May currently has a majority of 2. She has a majority of fucking 2. And it's like, that's a majority that could very easily be overturned. That is a majority that could very, very fucking easily be overturned. Also, as far as I'm aware, the DUP are still in talks, right? Like, officially, they're in coalition. They're in, but it's like, but in reality, it's more just yeah. You know, we'll sort something out. But anyway, we need to agree a deal. You know, it's like, because the DUP have the Conservatives over a fucking barrel, and they knew it. You know, the Liberal Democrats, well, you know, we'd like a bit of power, you know. And also, the thing is that with the Conservatives and the Liberal Democrats, right, there was opposing ideologies there. Whereas, like, the DUP are like, nah, but you want what we want, don't you? Yeah, you want what we want. So we're gonna ask what you don't want to say you want, but you really want, and you're gonna give in order to hold on to power, because if you don't, we're walking, and you're fucked. You know. The DUP don't give a fuck. The DUP could easily screw over the Conservatives just because they've decided, you know what, fuck it, the Conservatives aren't mad enough. So, yeah, it's, and equally, like, even if the Conservatives do bend over fucking backwards for the DUP, right, the Conservative backbenchers are so rebellious that David Cameron called Brexit in the first place to try to keep them in line. And that was when he had a stronger majority. And because of the way our parliamentary system works, right, you're always going to have a few rebels anyway. But, like, the reason your party has power is because you have enough people representing your party who can vote in favour of your party's policies to push them through, right? That's the way our parliamentary system works, is that we elect representatives in the form of these, you know, constituency MPs. They go to Parliament and they vote on the different policies. And so the idea is that, you know, you are the ruling party in power because you have the majority of the MPs and can thus command a majority in the votes, and thus get your policies pushed through. If you have a majority of 2, then yeah, those rebels become a hell of a lot more problematic for you, don't they? You know, like they might, like, the Conservative Party and the DUP might technically be in, you know, in power. It might be in coalition enough to, you know, get them into power legally as they are the ruling government. But at the end of the day, when it comes to putting policies before Parliament, well, not necessarily policies, but anytime something has to be voted on before Parliament, right? Right, the DUP are 10 MPs. There can very, very easily be more than 10 rebel Conservative MPs, right? I mean, yeah, you know, there is the whole thing of, like, you know, the chief whip within the party who is supposed to make sure the MPs vote how they're supposed to vote in terms of representing the party. But, you know, some people aren't going to give a shit. Some people are just going to like, no, fuck it, I'm going to vote how I want. Jeremy Corbyn is a case of someone who voted how he wanted to vote and fuck other people. You know, he votes with his conscience and sod what the party says. And I have seen people very critical of that, going, how dare he bells and his hot schools, don't like that. But yeah, like, I'm not scared by the Conservatives and DUP. If anything, I'm just like, you know, congratulations, you've played yourselves, right? Because the Conservatives need the DUP so much, and the DUP are so fucking insane, and at the same time, they're so tiny and so don't need power that, like, this is not going to work. This is a coalition that is going to fall apart in a catastrophic fashion, right? This is a coalition that could fall apart in a catastrophic fashion just over a period of months anyway. But we aren't just talking about a nice, harmless, quiet period of months. We're talking about dealing with Brexit and dealing with the issue of the Scottish independence referendum, right? These are two issues that create lots and lots of friction within any political party in Britain. Never mind, you know, the two most right-wing parties within Britain, right? You're going to have the sort of the Conservative MPs who are like, yes, we want the European Union because it lets us do trade with all these other people. And then you're going to have, you know, the right-wing Conservatives, well, right-wing, you're going to have the fascist Conservatives who are just like, yes, but at the same time, we're the Conservatives and we should be conserving Britishness, so fuck the European Union. And so, you know, you've got a majority of fucking two there. A majority of two, and the issue of Europe was a big enough problem that Brexit was offered as a fucking the Brexit referendum was offered as a solution. And you've now got to tackle Brexit itself while negotiating with Europe for Brexit, and at the same time having a majority of two that could pull you apart at any moment. And all the while, Nicola Sturgeon is going to be over the border, very distinctly pissed off at you, with enough MPs left to be a distinct thorn in your side. So yeah. The Conservatives, they may technically still be in power, but it's, oh, Jesus Christ, this is going to be fun. This is just going to go catastrophic. But, you know, I had so much fun watching the results roll in because I was just like, this is too tense, man. This is way too tense. It's too much fun. The hung parliament. How's it gonna shake out, man? How's it gonna shake out? Hence, I got the hangover, and I think that's the first time I've ever actually had a hangover. Because it turns out it doesn't actually say here how many units of alcohol is in this bottle of whiskey. You know. See, it says, you know, the volume in terms of, you know, alcohol by volume and how many centiliters, it doesn't say how many units, despite listing on the back the standard number of male, the standard number of recommended units of alcohol to not be exceeded per day, right? And so it's not helpful in the fucking least. But I still remembered that night, so I didn't get too drunk. It was the first time I kind of got drunk in a proper sense, but also remembered the night. So the hangover was terrible. And then pretty much I went from that day to then the going away on the holiday. And again, terrible sleep because we left early for the holiday. And, you know, there were problems of, like, I had a hole in my trousers that I didn't know about. And so we had to stop and buy new trousers at the service station. It wasn't like the hole was in a rude place or anything. It was just like, you know, leg stuff. But it was just like, yeah, we probably shouldn't have holes in trousers. So got that sorted. And then, of course, you know, we went to see family members, and it's like, whatever you do, don't talk politics. And so it's like, oh, what book are you reading? Oh, literally 7 pages into the Communist Manifesto. And of course, I ended up having a massive argument about, you know, bloody about technological unemployment, as this guy is like, no, I really want to reassure you that there will always be jobs. I mean, it doesn't make any sense whatsoever, because as technology improves, it will be able to do the jobs, because it just will, because that's how fucking progress works. And they're like, but in the Industrial Revolution they said they were going to get rid of jobs. Yes, but the fucking mills weren't fucking smart, right? The fucking telegram machines weren't intelligent. They did not have neural fucking networks. We are in the age of big data. We are in the age of algorithms. We are in the age of neural networks and machines that program themselves. Like, things have changed. And so that was fun. That was fun. Made a complete and utter cock up of that, I did. But then we did see the sort of the main event, and it turns out basically I'm going to be living in the British equivalent of a trailer park, maybe. It's my mother's latest fad. At some point, I'm fairly certain that I'm going to get a fairly serious suggestion of, like, yes, why don't we live on the moon? Yes, totally, there's a thing here, we can just live on the moon. We'll totally do that, yeah. Or I don't know, like, why don't we move to a circus? It is just a bit like, okay, what is it this time? What is it this time? But she seems very serious this time. That, like, yes, trailer parks. That's the way of the future. And I'm just like, yes. You seemed pretty darn certain last time. So yeah. So that's fun. I mean, it genuinely was, and then there was a funeral exhibition. I could not resist going to the funeral exhibition. I felt so very naughty, but I could not resist going. Because basically, after 2016, yeah, I could not resist it. Like, I just could not go check it out. The thing that kind of surprised me is how utterly capitalistic it was. Like, there were funeral branded coffee cups and funeral branded wine glasses and funeral branded mints, and you know, it's like, oh, here's a stall selling embalming tools, and right beside a whole bunch of, you know, pretty young girls, pretty young women who all look the same and are wearing low cut black dresses in order to try and sell people on sort of funeral stuff, right? They had fucking booth babes at a funeral exhibition. Right? Like there's fucking child coffins the way over, and they've got fucking booth babes. Okay? Okay, this is a thing that I did not expect. And, you know, there's the sort of, like, you know, there were people there, like, you know, live weaving a fucking coffin, like wicker coffin there. And it's almost like, you know, sort of like artisan crafted chairs, except it's a coffin. And it's like, ooh, watch this master at work. So utterly goddamn surreal. And it's like, you know, winches and lifts for, you know, the coffins. And it's like, oh, this is a lectern that rises and falls with the different speakers. And it's like, you know, I feel like this is the one time I'm allowed to say in the 21st century as an atheist guy, like, is nothing sacred, right? Fucking funerals and you got fucking booth babes there. Like, that's, I mean, I got, I will never not find that insane. Just, I will never not find that insane. That, like, because I think even from a sort of, like, you know, right-wing conservatism perspective, like, you respect the funeral, right? Like, I, I suppose I'm kind of the opinion of, like, even if you are a misogynistic asshole who just sees women as sex objects, that you're like, no, this is a fucking funeral exhibition, for fuck's sake, right? You have a sense of dignity and class, right? But no, we don't live in the age of, you know, bigots and what have you. Instead, we live in the age of capitalism gone fucking insane. And so, of course, you're going to use sex to sell coffin stuff. That was insane, surreal and insane. And that was probably the whole best part of the trip. And we stayed in a hotel that was horrendously crap. And the walls were incredibly thin. So I heard the couple next door having a very nice time of things. Very nice time of things. Yes. She was definitely a screamer, that one next door. Yeah. Must admit, I did find myself laughing my head off a bit at that. Just because it's like, oh, we're in that kind of hotel, are we? And there was an interconnecting door, except there was no handle. The locking mechanism was screwed up, and there was bog roll on the locking mechanism, and there was only actually a lock on one side of the doors. And then there was the fact that, like, the loos were just a death trap. Like, I mean, mine wasn't quite such a death trap, but it was not good. It was clearly quite blocked up to the extent that, you know, in the morning I all I will say in sort of justification of this before I say it is I was very, very tired, and I had nature telling me I needed to do this before I could really, before my brain had properly booted up and think, okay, what about the logistics going on here? Because basically, it was an incredibly filled up toilet. I tried to go for a piss. It rebounded. My feet were soaked in piss. So that was fun. And I mean that very much in the sort of hashtag sarcastic, ironic way, and not in the Donald Trump having a time in Russia way. Yeah. And then there was a zoo. I do not like zoos, because, you know, part of the thing of sort of autism is you don't like loud noises, you don't like people, and and because of my ADHD, I don't really have much energy for stuff. So yeah, going around this incredibly baking hot zoo filled with screaming children, and, you know, and certain members of my family who have a decent set of lungs on them themselves, because they were screaming their fucking heads off at every kind of animal, just like, ah, it's a thing! Look, it's a monkey! Eee. I swear, like, genuinely, we stopped to eat lunch, and it was just non-stop. This family member was just non-stop squealing about fucking newts. Newts in a snow leopard enclosure, by the way. It's not like the, oh, polite thing of, oh, look, there's a newt in the newt thing of the newt stuff of, yeah. No, this was just, like, literally, there was a bit of pond stuff by the window, and they were just going, ah, my ears were ringing, and I was so hot and so tired and in so much pain, because basically, thanks to my ADHD, I need to take pain pills about every 6 hours, and we stayed in there a long time, past the point of taking pain pills, and I had not gotten much sleep. By the time we got home, I was practically ready to murder someone. Just so tired, so stressed, so can't deal with people. And there was one moment where it's like, this family member who loves zoos, and it's like, yay, zoos, monkeys, right? She says with glee and enthusiasm, no, these are the world's second loudest animals in the world. And I'm like, and you want to go see these things? If I saw a thing saying, you know, advertising the second loudest thing in the, I would be like, okay, then we're going away from it. You know, we're going fucking away from it. But no, we began our zoo trip with the second loudest animal in the world, which is a gibbon, and just them howling their heads off, and it's just. I tried to be quiet and respectful and not kind of be a dick about the fact that I was just in absolute agony. But I think it might have ever so slightly destroyed my brain. Or at least rendered it into slight mush throughout the rest of the day. I have not had an easy time of sleeping because it's basically there is a moment before full tiredness sets in where your conscious mind is aware of what's going on, but it doesn't have the energy to actually do anything. And your subconscious mind is still active, right? And this is where like things like nightmares and stuff come from, of just like, no, but wouldn't it be really terrible if this horrible thing happened? And your brain is like, if your brain is anything like mine, you're kind of like, okay, but can we think about something nice instead? What if it wasn't always the shark eating me, and what if instead it was, pretty girls? Think about pretty girls, or to specify, pretty unconsenting women. just again, I know there are assholes. So I got distracted by the way I worded that. Yes, pretty unconsenting women, and I know there are assholes. Sorry, I'm ever so slightly evil. But no, this was not like nightmares. This was kind of, you're nodding off. Your conscious mind starts to receive the ability, and then the subconscious comes storming in with, but what about that? And about this? These people really fucking annoying, and now it's horrible. Oh, I should have done this. I should have done that. And there is also a thing that happens whereby, right, if you're an autistic person, your brain can like latch on to phrases and quotes and facts and little things of knowledge, and it can hold them and repeat them ad nauseum. And what my brain can do occasionally is that it will just emulate little snippets of gibberish as if from some specific person, and sort of alternate the different tones of voices and stuff. And so I can end up in these situations whereby my brain is basically just gabbling on about these specific people, just being really vaguely judgmental. So it was hell. It was hell, and like I'd be trying to sleep, and then I'd sort of, have a knee-jerk reaction of jerking awake, except it'd be just like, I don't hate you! What the fucking thing? Just literally like, I'm just, the conscious mind is receding, and I'm just like, because just so, I mean, I have very good rules and laws, and I have good anger management and stuff, but there was very definitely a moment on the drive back when I needed the loo, and I said, okay, at services, I'm just gonna go to loo. I'm just gonna go to loo first. At services, I'm just going to go to loo. And so at the services, I just headed for the fucking loo. And this person just followed after me, and I just turned around to them and just sort of found myself saying in this sort of, icily quiet voice, just like, I don't care, fuck off. And it was I was surprised at how fucking at how fucking viciously angry I sounded. But it's it was just, the end of a very, very long couple of days, which were themselves the end of 3 days of terrible sleep. And and and, and now I have an endocrinology thing today, and fuck reality. Just fuck reality. Just fuck the people. Just I just can't deal. I just can't. Just fucking the election, the DUP, whatever, that's fine. I now have hope in the British electorate, but holidays send me mad. Like, I genuinely at this point am like, okay, I would rather be trapped in a room with a fascist than just a socially polite person who I don't understand. Because at least I know where I goddamn stand with a fascist who wants to kill me. He wants to fucking kill me, right? Whereas, socially aware extroverts who are neurotypical and can't deal with you not being socially aware are just it's like trying to deal with, shifting sands. It's just this situation of, like, you don't know what the fuck's going on, you don't know what the fuck you're dealing with, um and it's just so unclear of, basically the I mean, I'm an autistic person trying to understand, this person who does not think the way I think, and who gets very annoyed at the idea, at the fact that I can't seem to, like, I mean, I'm trying to make extrapolations upon a mind that I can't fathom, but they seem very antagonistic, uh, and upset towards the fact that I can't that I see the world in this different way, and making judgment calls about the way I see the world, and I'm just kind of thinking, like, at the moment it seems like the only way to avoid pissing them off is to just always agree with them, right? And that's not a productive way of looking at the world as far as I'm concerned, because I'm me and I'm honest, and sooner or later I'm not gonna agree with you, right? And I'm not, right? Like, the way you go about the world is you understand where a person's coming from, so that even if you don't agree with them, you can still find common enough ground that you can get on with them, and that you can make compromises, and people can get everything out of things. And or if you can't come to a compromise whereby everybody's happy, you come to a compromise whereby people can tolerate what's going on, and, like, you find ways to make shit work. And this person just kind of said to me, no, you always have to have everything in the way you like it. And it's just like, well, what's so bad about that? What's so bad about approaching the world in a way that everybody finds something they like about it? And I suppose the other thing is just, like, I have so little power over my life. Why the fuck would I not use the power I have over my life to make it enjoyable? Right? Um, I mean, again, I'm an autistic person trying to understand someone who is not autistic. I'm going to have a hard time doing this. But it's just that, combined with the fact of, like, tiredness, and you know, heat and all this other stuff, and also the fact that I spent basically the last 2 years on my own, and then I had 2 days of basically enforced near constant socialization, and like after we left the zoo, I was like, okay, we've just got to drive home. I'll be okay. I'll put on some music and it'll be okay. Except, of course, because I'm huge, I have to sit in the front seat and my mother talks. She talks and 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 she's talking over my favorite songs and she's repeating the subjects over and over because that's what neurotypical people do. Neurotypical people go over the same topics again and again and again and again and again. And if you're watching that going, well, your videos are so repetitive yourself. Yeah, you're worse. You are worse. Right? Listen to how you are like in conversation with your friends. See how many times you end up repeating yourself. See how many times your friends end up repeating themselves, right? I repeat points because I am trying to, you know, bring about themes and tie stuff up and have segues, and because stuff, you know, occurs to me to add new stuff, and oh yeah, I better bring that back to kind of address this point, da da da. Genuinely, people I know will just have the same conversation over and over and over again because it suddenly occurs to them and they don't remember having talked about it before. Except I remember. Right? I have sort of a contextual memory, which is like, you know, I can remember what I'm doing. I can remember everything I've done when I'm walking. Right? If I'm playing a video game, I will remember everything I did while playing that video game. If I am talking to someone, I will basically be remembering every single conversation I have had with that person. If I read The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, I will remember exactly what happened the last time I read it. Contextual memory, lovely. Like, I'm doing the thing, I remember doing the thing the last time I did the thing. And so I just... It was not good. It's like, I'm done, I've got no energy left, I can't do anything. We've got a 2-hour drive back. And they're still going to be talking, and it's still going to be hot, and it's going to be boring and hellish, and there's going to be bowel stuff. It was not good. Nazi trolls. DUP conservatives. Stress is the election. Going away on holiday. It's the holiday that kind of that makes me genuinely bloody angry. But yeah, I also I've run out of Diet Coke. And obviously I can't drive. Don't have a car. And Diet Coke is heavy. So thank fuck for Pro Plus, eh? thank the bloody fucking stars for Pro Plus. Yeah, anyway, I'll see you guys later. Yeah, I will be. Because yeah. Thanks to Corbyn, I have a future now. I'm not sure for how long because, you know, Conservatives are still technically in power, and I still might end up in social housing, but, you know, it's okay. still bloody can't believe. I still can't believe that, like, there's fucking boob babes at a funeral exhibition, dude. It's nothing sacred. Thank you for watching my main channel. Please remember to leave a like, favourite and comment. Shout out to the Dislike Club. Subscribe if you like what you saw, and share if you know someone who might be interested in the contents of this video. If you would like to help ensure more videos get made, there are a few options available to you. You can whitelist this channel in your adblock software to ensure what ad revenue you provide has a chance of making its way to me. If you sign up to make a regular monthly donation through my Patreon, then you will get to watch a selection of videos available exclusively to my Patreon supporters over at my Patreon page. One-off donations are payable through PayPal, or if that doesn't suit your sensibilities, you can gift items through Steam or Amazon via my public wish lists. Obviously, I don't expect anything, and the vast majority of my videos will remain free and ad-supported. All that remains is to say Trump should be impeached, the genocidal must be stopped, and institute universal basic income now.